Welcome back to another episode of Expertly Unqualified.
Welcome back, everyone.
We missed you guys last week, so we knew we had to come in with an excellent episode for you guys this week. And let me tell you, it will not disappoint. Okay? We are flying off the handle. We've got nothing written down, no notes on napkins thrown out anymore. We're just going off the cuff. So I hope you're ready for an adventure. It's one of those days, I feel like.
All right, so getting into weekly stats. You didn't need to know, but now you know.
Yes. Very important weekly stats. I was trying to think, I was like, I got no fun weekly stats. And then I was like, you know what? Number of books I've read this week. One. And I read it in basically one day. So I feel like that's a pretty fun fact. I went back and forth forever on whether I should get a Kindle or not. And I finally bit the bullet and got one. But I used girl math to get it. So I was like, do I really need another device? I can read a regular book, that's fine. I can read a book on like an electronic, like that doesn't bother me. But I was like, it'd be nice to just have something that has no notifications. It doesn't have the blue light, so your eyes won't get tired. I'm going on a longer flight this summer, so I'll need something that holds charge forever. And the Kindle holds a charge for like 10 weeks. It's ridiculous. So I used Girl Math. It was on sale at Target. I had a gift card. I used credit card rewards, so it was super cheap. And my library has the Libby app, so if you don't have a library card, go find one. And then if they have Libby, it's the best thing ever. You can download audiobooks, ebooks, all for free through your library card. And so a book that came up was somebody that I had seen, somebody posted on Instagram and was like, if you need a book recommendation, read this one. And it just so happened to pop up on my phone or on my screen. And I was like, we're going to read it. It's called Heart the Lover by Lily King. So many twists and turns, super good. It's got like an orange cover, so it's kind of fun. So yeah, the problem I have now though is reading is dangerous. I'll go through spurts where I'll read a bunch and then I'll read nothing. And then when I come back and I start reading a really good book, I do not want to put it down. And you know me very well, and I love my sleep. I will stay up until the break of dawn reading books. So I did put my Kindle away at like midnight and then went to bed, and then I finished the next day. But if I sat down and read it, it was probably like 8 hours straight. But that's my weekly stat of the week. What is your weekly stat we didn't need to know?
But Kindles are really nice because they really help with eye fatigue, and I think they're worth it.
Do you have one?
No, I had them when I was younger.
Okay, I should have asked you. Usually when I can't decide whether I
Mhm.
should purchase something, and it's funny because it's not even like the Kindle will break the bank for me, you know? I always text my brother and I'm like, all right, I need some advice. I really want this. And then he'll come back and be like, well, do you really need another device? Are you actually going to use it? And I'm like, yeah, I've been, I'll send back all the like, yeah, of course. And then he's like, up to you. I'm like, no, this one I need it. Usually he'll be like, you can maybe skip it this time or yeah, go for it. But this time he was like, you decide. I'm like, no, I've been adulting way too hard lately and I need you to tell me what to do. So yeah, but it's I highly recommend for anybody who doesn't have one. Put it on your birthday list, Christmas list. It's worth it.
So a little bit more than a week, but I just had 12 days off work, and it was so nice.
That's gonna be amazing.
I finally I didn't even do anything. Like I didn't even go anywhere. I just caught up on like stuff around the house and homework I needed to do, and I slept so much. It was so
That's good.
needed, and I'm finally not sore anymore. But I went back to work in the past 2 days. I've just been sore from walking around and
Oh
moving
my gosh,
more.
yeah, because you're so used to
I'm already out
walking
of
so many
shape.
steps. Oh my gosh, but hopefully that relaxed you and you had a good few days off because you need a break. You've been busy.
But yeah, so I feel much calmer.
Very nice. That is good. Good. And I feel like, especially around this time of like winter, it can kind of be like gross to keep doing the same thing over and over again because you're like, still can't go outside, still can't do this, you know? So it's nice to be able to just take some time to yourself during this time because I know it can be kind of bleh outside.
Very hectic.
Yes. But that brings us to the headlines of the week. Do you have any headlines this week?
Headlines. This sounds really silly, but one of my group project mates told me I did good work, which honestly, I'm doing a senior capstone project where I have to create a full stack stock trading application. So
Yikes.
we have to make the server security, and the website.
It's a lot.
Honestly, it's one of those things where, like, if somebody asked me how to build a website, like, I'd be able to, like, BS enough to put together some sentences. But now, like, actually doing it, I had no idea what I was doing.
Mm.
Like, and I felt like I had literally no idea what I was doing. I know nothing. I just idiot. But I managed to make the whole back end
Well, that's good.
so it works. So I made like a server, like a SQL server that keeps track of user accounts and financial transactions.
That's impressive.
So
It's hard when it's a project because you like actually have to do it. It's not like a personal thing where you're like, yeah, I don't feel like doing this right now. Like you have to get it done.
especially with having group projects because I don't want to be the lazy one.
Yeah. And especially because you're not in person either. I feel like you have to like make yourself look extra good
Yeah.
when you're not in person. Very
So that
nice.
was been my headline for the week.
Very nice. I was trying to think of my headline for the week. Let's see. Well, okay, we'll do this one. Let's see. So obviously we did put out an episode last week because we were both like slammed, and that's just how life goes. And so every week I try to plan out like what groceries I'm getting and then specifically plan for what meals I'm gonna make. And I found most recently that I need to stop picking new recipes, just go back to old ones because by the time I finish work, I never feel like cooking. But this week I would say my headline was I was able to find meals that I could quickly make. So even if they weren't on my original list of what we were going to eat this week, I was able to like look at the fridge and be like, okay, we're having this for dinner. So I had an elevated college dinner, I would say. I don't know about you, but I could live off of peanut butter and jelly and mac and cheese
Oh yes.
for all my meals. So this was an elevated one. We ended up having chicken with Goodles mac and cheese. If you haven't had it, it's high protein. It's very good. So we had chicken with Goodles and broccoli. So it's got everything in there. It's more elevated. And I do have to say how much I've been loving the air fryer. I've been using it nonstop. I got a big bag of potatoes because they're so cheap, you know? If you just cut your potatoes up into little bite-sized pieces and then spray them with some like olive oil, some seasoning, air fry those bad boys, it's like restaurant potatoes. So I did eat a lot of those. So I guess my headlines are all about food this week.
Honestly good though.
Yeah. And that brings us to adulting. Did you adult this week?
I actually did. I caught up all of my laundry and I put it away.
I have not caught up and it's been like a week and a half. So I'm proud of you.
I also am pretty sure because my landlord sold my crazy amount.
No.
I think I'm picking out a new apartment to move to.
Why would they? So when they adjust the price, do they let you cut your lease early at all?
Thankfully, it doesn't kick in until my lease expires.
Oh, okay, well that's good. That's rude that they increased it, but that is good that they let you get out of it before. So, and you just moved there.
I know, but it's always just funny because I got lucky with my last places where they didn't increase rent while
Mm.
we lived there. But
Is that kind of a normal thing for renting?
it is kind of typical.
But they said a lot, so that's no fun.
But hopefully, this might be the last because we're eligible for the home loan this
Oh, okay.
summer, but our lease expires before then. So hopefully, this is our last.
Yeah, that's a bummer, but it's also good that you have options.
But exciting though.
Yes, yes. My adulting this week is I didn't know Mother Nature could be so mean. Okay, so you might think like when you buy a home, you'll have hail damage or water like leaking in. No, no, no. You forgot one of the other elements of Mother Nature, wind. Okay, I had no idea it was windy out, okay? I wake up in the morning and I usually come downstairs, I'll make my coffee. I open the blinds in front of the kitchen window. Part of my fence blown over. I'm like, I didn't even hear the wind howling, nothing. So then,
No way.
yeah. So my adulting this week was I had to figure out what to do with the fence. So it wasn't the whole fence. It was just 2 posts and like 3 sections of wood. And the posts just rotted out. And they just said, I'm done, and fell over. So we got that fixed today, which is nice. So they didn't have to redo the fence at all. They just redid the posts and secured it back to the posts. But then the other side of the fence, there was one part, so it's like flat like this. One part is leaning towards my neighbor's house and one part is leaning in towards our yard. So they also fixed that today. But in order to do that, I had to be an adult. I had to walk to my neighbor's house behind me, who I've never met, we just moved in, it at least was still light out because I feel weird like going and knocking on everybody's door. But I knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I live behind you. I know you probably have seen our wobbly fence. We're gonna get it fixed tomorrow. Can we come into your yard to fix it?" Because I've never had a fence before. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately, we own the fence.
Mhm.
So the people on the other side, like behind us, they just have like the nice part of our fence. So they're like, they were the nicest people. They're like, no problem. So when I got home from work, I was able to see the beautiful fence. But I was like, come on, wind did that? It wasn't like a tornado. It wasn't a fire. It was the freaking wind. We live in the windy city, I guess. I should have seen it coming, but come on.
And like it's always so unsuspecting because I know that it's supposed to be very windy here, but it just like it's so freaking cold. It
Yeah,
cuts
and
right through you.
it's not even like usually when it's super windy, you hear the trees, you hear the whoo through the air, you know? It was nothing like that. It just woke up and part of our fence was down. I was like, are you
Just
kidding
another
me?
day.
Just another day, another dollar out my pocket. But at least it was an easy fix. And I did get to meet her neighbors, so that was good. But I was like, I don't know what to expect when I'm knocking on somebody's door. I'm like, hey. So I felt like a big adult doing that.
And thankfully it turned out well.
Oh yeah, they're super nice and super friendly. Nobody's outside because it's freezing cold. Like I feel like it'd be easier in the summertime if you saw them outside to be like yelling over the fence like, "Hey, so," but nobody leaves their house when it's this cold. So it's like I'm Gladys out my office window. I'm like, "Oh, this person just let," like the first few weeks are you're trying to gauge like who your neighbors are, what they're doing. You're like, "Oh, okay, the guy with the white car is leaving now. Okay, he looks about to be this old," you know? And then finally, once it's ice outside, you start meeting people. But yeah, it's very interesting that way. But I was like, the freaking wind, are you serious? I'll huff and puff and I'll blow your fence down. What did we do? Did you do adulting? Was adulting
Yeah,
your apartment? All right, that's how the day's going. Trending topics of the week. I have one trend. Do you have any?
I have one.
Well, okay, good. I actually have another one, but you go first.
Honestly, I've been loving all the positive attention Alyssa Liu's been getting.
Yes.
So for those who haven't watched the Olympics, Alyssa Liu is a gold medalist figure skater. And honestly, she has such a good fun energy. And I think that figure skating, along with dance and cheer, can be such a competitive and honestly sometimes toxic environment. So like seeing her come in and like out of retirement and just be able to win just being herself and having fun was just really fun to watch.
That was really fun. And I did see she was an excellent skater and then decided to step away because she wasn't in love with the sport anymore and she decided to come back on her own terms and I thought that was really cool. And then I don't know if you saw, I guess they do like an expo after all the figure skaters have gone. So they just like danced whatever songs they want and she danced to Stateside, which I had only heard one section of it from like a reel or whatever, but it was so good. And then I just have to say, figure skating has the most subjective scoring, and I don't like it. And I also think that I would be so graceful on the ice, but I know I would not be. So I will stick to my Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games Wii game that I finally brought from my house. So now I have it, and I played it last weekend. So that's my figure skater and me. Yeah,
And
that's pretty
again,
cool.
like I always get so confident I can try figure skating tricks, but no.
I don't know how they spin and don't get dizzy. How about the guy who does quad spins in the air? I just I'm always blown away watching figure skating because I'm like, how do you do that? How? But for my trend, I had two. One of them, did you see Dunkin's new iced coffee size in the East Coast?
No.
They give you like I don't even know how many ounces. It's just like a bucket. You need to look it up. It is like just this giant bucket. I saw this funny video and the guy's like, "Well, I guess I gotta hold my coffee because it doesn't fit in the cup holder." It is huge.
No.
Is it like 48 ounces? 64? Like
It's 40.
okay, 48 ounces. I don't know what they call it, but Could you imagine?
I love the shape of this. This is ridiculous.
It's so cute. I want one, but could you
48, I
imagine?
want one.
Could you imagine drinking 48 ounces of Dunkin' coffee?
Oh my gosh. It's in like a takeout soup container, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely do it, but I hope to God there's a bathroom nearby. But that's
I
only in
wanna
the East Coast, which is rude. They should bring it to the Midwest so we can rate it. If we need to get it, gotta rate it. I wonder how
but
expensive
yes,
it
no,
is.
this needs to happen now.
Would
Like
it
this
be
has
like
to.
$10, you think?
It says $8.19.
Well, that's cheap.
I know.
This is what I would do. I would order that and split it because it's
Uh-huh.
cheaper than getting 2 large coffees or whatever.
I guess it's $8.89.
That's still not bad. That's
No,
still
that's not
cheaper
bad.
than a drink at Starbucks,
Honestly, there are people who have been ordering $9 drinks, like,
which
on a
is
daily basis.
insane.
So,
Insane.
bring it nationwide. I would buy it. That would sell.
At Dunkin', bring it nationwide. As
Honestly,
Starbucks baristas, bring it nationwide.
I remember when Trenta was considered controversial. Like, when they first announced it, everyone thought that was ridiculous. So, I'm hoping that now that, like, Americans love being hydrated, I can only hope and dream that Starbucks has a Starbucks bucket.
I hope so. But I feel like for Starbucks, it should be like more classy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know what would be more classy than a bucket. A big teddy bear that they only sell
I
4
Teddy.
cups of.
This is definitely wrong, but I was thinking like a box of box wine, but a box of Starbucks.
Speaking of Starbucks, I had a flashback memory on my phone and from I think 3 years ago today, and it was like somebody ordered a venti iced white mocha with no espresso, extra flavoring, and whipped cream. So they paid like $8 for just flavored milk and whipped cream.
So this is off topic. Recently, I was catching up with my coworkers after I got back to work, and someone was just being awful. And my coworker was about to start going off, and she just said, "Wait, no, I can't. I gave up shit talking coworkers. Sorry, I gave up shit talking customers for Lent."
That would be hard
I've
not to
never
do.
heard of that one. I've never heard of that one, but honestly, good for her.
Yeah, that's new. That's a new one. Wow. And then the other trend that I wanted to bring everybody's attention to, Bruno Mars dropped his new album. It's called The Romantics. If you haven't heard, now I'm blanking on the song. What is that song? I have to look it up. This is embarrassing. Show you up, show you up. So if you haven't listened to his album, I Just Might. That's what it is. Yeah, I Just Might. Such a bop. But his whole album came out. It's so short that I listened to it on my way to work. And my commute to work is like 25 minutes. It felt really short, but it's super good. Kind of like lovey-dovey songs that have like a nice beat to them. So go check it out. Check out his music video for I Just Might. Super good. It's like, you remember how good the music used to be in like 2008, 2010? It's given that vibe, you know?
When life was good.
When life is good, yeah.
So
PSA for next weekend, we move the clocks forward an hour. I just saw that on my calendar, so I felt like I needed to give a PSA because I'm gonna forget about it. And happy March. How in the world did we make it to March? I feel like I blinked and February disappeared.
they usually do that. Is it usually on a Sunday when they do that, or a Monday? Okay, so
Sunday. Could you imagine
yeah,
if it was a Monday and you had to go and well, you
that'd be
still have to work
evil.
on the weekends like at Starbucks, and I remember
No,
working on that day and I'm like, did I miss my shift? Did I set my clock wrong?
thankfully I still don't work on Sundays, so I'm sorry for those who do.
Well, that is good. That is good. So just, yeah, prepare yourselves. It's March already. And yeah. But that means it'll be lighter out at night. And that means warmer days ahead. So I'm down for it. All right. Well, that concludes our WHAT news of the week. The important items you needed to hear now. And so now today's episode is going to be a fun one. I had seen something similar to on one of the podcasts that I listened to, and I thought, you know what, this would be perfect for our people, all 3 of you. And I'm totally kidding. There's more than 3 of you, so don't you worry. There's 5 that I know of. No, I'm kidding. But today, we, as unqualified people who are trying to adult, we're going to be grading adulting advice that people have been saying forever. And by people, I mean your whole Instagram feed of 40 bajillion people who are like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and run 45 miles before I go to work. And then I gourmet meals that I meal prepped Well, I don't know, just ridiculous stuff where you look at it and you're like, I can't do one of these things. I feel like a failure. We're going to make you not feel like failures, and we're going to give you our opinion on the advice that people are saying, our own expertly unqualified opinions. So, without further ado, I would like to say we did prep for this, and we had a wonderful outline created by Holly. I opened it up. I could not read it. It just looked like lines, and I'm like, what are you doing? I know she did something. It was in white font.
Which I did that accidentally. I've done that accidentally a lot of times, but I think it's evil. One of my professors puts, like, in the past, put fake white text in their assignments to try to trick people who use ChatGPT copying and pasting the assignments. That messed me up because I copy and paste the rubric into a Word document to make my notes when I do assignments.
Yeah.
So she tripped me up, and I wasn't even cheating.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. So yeah,
But
we're
yeah,
gonna look at these white font notes. Kidding. All right, you want to take it away? Let me see.
the first one. So we're going to grade viral adulting advice. So the first one is wake up at 5 a.m. every day.
I don't know how people can do it.
Honestly, go on.
I'll digress. If you have such a busy day that you need time for yourself in the morning before you go to work, or just need time to get your workout in, or maybe sometimes you just have to work that early, sure. If you work, I would say, like a normal job with normal times, and you have time, say you wanted to work out, and you have time after work, I don't know if there's any point to waking up at 5 a.m. because that would require you, at least for me, I need like 18 hours of sleep to function. So I'd have to go to bed at like 9, which I know probably just isn't feasible. I could probably go to bed at 10, but I'm waking up every day tired and cranky, and I don't want that. It is something nice to wake up early and get all your stuff done, and then you look at the clock and you're like, oh, it's only 8:30. I have the whole rest of the day. I personally just cannot do it. No, it's a no for me. But we're ranking this. So here's our ranking categories. I should announce what they are so we're all on the same page. The top tier is S tier. It's superior. It's A plus. And then it goes A, B, C, D, E, F. F is the worst. S is superior. I don't know who created this scale, but I just felt like we should use it today. Wake up at 5 a.m. I'd say that's D. I would say
I'm about
that's
to go
D
off.
tier.
I'm about to go off on this.
Okay, go off.
Seen that once. As someone who wakes up really early every day, it's insane. Like everybody, like there's like this one Celsius commercial I always think about where it's like it's 4:59 a.m. I'm on a run. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna do all these things, but it's like I feel like I've always disliked when people are obsessed with waking up early because most of the time people only wake up early because they're kind of crazy. Like I do it every day. I wake up at 3 a.m. every day. I'm at work by 4 a.m. every day. Like honestly, it's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, I do it, but it's like most of us are like having an energy drink plus 4 shots of espresso.
I haven't met one person who just wakes up at that time and doesn't need any caffeine.
No, no.
And
And like
there's gotta be a reason for waking up that early. Like, I can't imagine you're just like, yep, I'm up and at 'em at 5 a.m.
and the people like the things that people who wake up that early do are just unhinged.
Yeah, I agree. So it's only fine if you have to wake up to go to work. That's about it.
But
That's
even
about
the
it.
people who honestly sign up to work that early are also kind of crazy.
You gotta be a little crazy, yeah.
So again, I'm gonna say D. It's
Yeah.
just no, there's no
D
reason
tier.
to.
Especially because, okay, so say you decide to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Great. You kind of want to wake up at the same day. You kind of want to wake up at the same time every day. Like, that kind of helps me. Maybe it doesn't help you, but how do you do that on the weekends when, oh, Susie's throwing a dinner party at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night and you have to be up at 5 a.m. on Sunday? You're going to get 3 hours of sleep? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Especially because I do have a lot of customers like coming in right at open or now before open because we now have to open 10 minutes before open every day.
Oh, you
But
do?
yeah, new company rule.
Why? Why do you have to open before the open? Then why didn't you just push the open to be 10 minutes earlier?
Because that would make sense. That would make sense. But since
Oh.
we're near a hospital and like a lot of utilities and police
Mm,
stations, we have a lot of customers who come in after overnight shifts. But even
gotcha.
then, they're like tired and like look like they're having Vietnam flashbacks. It's like, it's not like a good hour of the morning to be awake.
Yeah,
Sometimes it can be calming if you just need like a quiet start to your morning. That's okay, but
yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad we agree. D
not
tier.
necessary. D, solid D.
Okay, the next one, make your bed every morning. Here's some
I
go ahead.
I never make my bed. I think it's pointless. Sometimes I do, but I just think that like me laying down and just shaking out my sheets is making it enough.
Yep. Here's some good discussion points. Will it actually change your life to make your bed every morning? My life has not been changed and I don't make my bed every morning, but I use a caveat to get around this. I don't know when I started doing this, and it's probably it's probably one of my red flags, but I just sleep on top of my comforter. I still put my sheets on and stuff, so my bed's technically made when I get out of it in the morning. So there you go. I use, like, those, tie blankets that you can make, like, the kid I just have, like, 18 of those on the bed, and that's what I use. I know I'm an odd bird for this, but my bed's made when I get up. The only time I really do make my bed is if I need some to complete something to get moving to clean more. So, like, just seeing a nice made bed will be like, "Okay, now I can do the rest of the room." Or if you have, like, laundry you need to spread out or whatever, to kind of fold up. Then you make your bed first, so it's like, all right, we can do this. But I can't imagine. I mean, I feel like to me, this is like C tier. Some people, it helps them really get ready for the day, and other people could care less. So I don't, and you're just gonna go sleep in it. So if it's already not made, then you don't have to unmake it to get into it. So I feel like it's C tier. You could kind of go either way, but don't tell me what to do.
I'd say this one's D tier, but my fiance, he thinks that this is S tier, especially because he was in the military.
Oh,
And I think that
okay.
they have to make their bed or something. But he even
Probably.
like he tucks the sheet in under the
Wow.
mattress. He picks up the mattress. Like he does the hotel thing. So
That's that's dedication right there.
so and now since I've been working before him, I wake up before him, so he leaves after me. So I usually come home from work and
And it has
because
a nice made bed.
yes.
That's awesome.
So he thinks it's S tier, but should I appreciate it more? Probably.
So we got a C tier. All right. Bless you. The next one, don't check your phone first thing. What are we defining as first thing? Like you don't touch it for an hour after you wake up, or like just immediately when you wake up?
I would say immediately.
Okay, immediately. So don't I guess that's what first thing means. But I
Mhm.
just wanted to completely confirm we're on the same page. Don't check your phone first thing. Um Honestly, probably like A tier. Like it's probably up there. I have a hard time with people who say like keep your phone out of the bedroom and like put it yes, that would be good, but I don't know. I use my phone for my alarm. Yes, I do have an alarm clock, but I don't know. I just get nervous I'm gonna oversleep even though I never have. So I like having my phone right there. And I do try to just turn off the alarm and then I don't really touch it at all. I've kind of had this thing been going on for a little while now is where I try not to scroll or anything until like 9 a.m. before I even open any of the apps. And that kind of helps me to say like, okay, I need to focus on something else. Not that I'm spending that much time on social media and whatnot, but I think it's just helpful to kind of have that, all right, it's an hour or so after I wake up, we're just gonna let my phone be. And I kind of have to check my phone kind of first thing, like when I work, because you need like two-factor authentication and all that stuff. I think it's A tier. That I don't think it does you any good to just roll over and then start scrolling.
I definitely agree. I think I used to try to avoid being on my phone a lot, but also younger was in a very high pressure environment where I was trying to get into a top college. I got to a pretty good college and I was just in a very high pressure environment. So for me, I think I went way too far into it to the point where I can't respond to messages. And I can't just like be like social like normal because I've went way too far with it, with trying to avoid being okay, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so for me, I think I went way too far with it, just the other way. direction of trying to just be way too productive 24/7
Mm.
that I was disconnect I think that's gonna be for me.
Yeah. I I would have to say, like, going in, like, the opposite direction of, like, leaving your phone when you're getting ready for bed and winding down. I've been
Mhm,
trying to be more cognizant of that, and I feel like that's also A tier as well, because I find, like not that this is any better, but, like, watching a show or, reading before going to bed is a lot better than me just scrolling forever and ever, and I keep thinking back to, like, I wake up, I turn off my alarm that's on a screen, then I go work on screens, then I come home and look at a smaller screen and a medium-sized screen, and then go to bed. So I've been trying to be more aware of that, but have found that I do fall asleep easier, and I feel like sleep better when I read before going to bed or just something that's really calming and not scrolling, because then I go down a rabbit hole, but
but
so
yeah,
I think those are both A tier.
one of my favorite ways to do that I know this sounds silly, but sometimes I will just do yoga
Oh, yeah.
or stretch with rain noises in the background,
Good idea.
relax before bed.
I was also gonna say, I also have a bad habit now of while I'm watching a show, that I'll be scrolling while watching the show, so I'm, like, half watching the show, so there's some shows that I just haven't watched yet because I haven't been giving them, like, full attention. So I
Mhm,
think putting the phone away. Or turn on your I've done this in 2 different ways. On an iPhone, they have, like, a do not disturb, so I have that set to go in around, like, 9:15 every night, which is nice because then I
mhm.
don't get bombarded with all of the notifications, and then also you can set up, like, a work function one, so it kinda works like do not disturb, but obviously you let more people contact you during that time, and it's kinda crazy to just swipe down because it blocks all your notifications and whatnot, and then you swipe down, you look at all the notifications, and you're like, "Dang, I didn't need to know all these things that are happening right as they came through at exactly that moment." So that's also another thing you can do is use your do not disturb times and adjust them, and that's been helpful as well.
That was something I used to do, when I was more intense about studying, but there's apps you can use too on your laptop and probably your phone too,
Mhm.
where you can block apps and websites.
Have you seen the thing called Brick?
The brick phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about the brick phone.
So for those of you who don't know, it's like a magnet. I think it's magnetic. I don't know. It's like this brick that you buy, not like a brick to build a house, but just it's called brick. We're not sponsored. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. But you like walk up to wherever it's posted. So think of like, I don't know, think of like a magnet on your fridge, okay? And you walk up to it and you tap your phone on it and it bricks your phone. So you specifically say, like, I can't go on any social media when it's bricked. So then you physically have to walk back to where your brick is located and tap it again to unbrick your phone. So it kind of like blocks your phone. But isn't it kind of sad to think about like that we just don't have enough self control to just put our phone down, that we need to buy something else to tell us not to use our phone? It's a little sad, but this is
Hey,
what it is.
if it works, it works.
Yeah. All right, you want to go dive into the next one?
All right, so the next one is stop buying coffee. So,
Boo! That's F tier.
honestly, this one gets like I feel like this is like the new version of like stop buying avocado toast.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's a middle ground. Again, I feel like I
Mhm.
need to stop taking thinking, like, there's, like, a nuance to everything, but, like, honestly, like, not buying a coffee every day isn't gonna be able to like, it's not going to prevent you make you buy it. It's not gonna fix all
Right.
your problems, but at the same time, it's like, don't be entirely dependent on eating out either, because that's also insane.
That's a good point. I would just say F tier with a little caveat, a little maybe in between D and F tier.
Mhm.
I think you deserve if you really enjoy coffee, I think you deserve to treat yourself. If what you enjoy is buying a coffee every morning and that works in your lifestyle, great. If it's an every once in a while thing that works in your lifestyle, great. If you can't afford to buy it every single day, maybe learn how to make it at home or make something at home that tastes good. But again, like how you've mentioned, some financial people will be like, "Oh, you need to stop buying coffee because you're losing lots of money." But in the grand scheme of things, that's like a $5 issue versus like you would wanna worry about something that would be $15,000 or whatnot. And I'm not saying that buying coffee every day doesn't add up, but I don't think it's the end of the world. So I would just say keep buying coffee, but just make sure it works with your budget and, like, your lifestyle.
Yeah. And, like, another thing too is, like, I think it only becomes a problem when, like, you're one of those people who, like, when there's a snowstorm, you have to buy, like, 4 because you can't emotionally cope going a couple
Yeah.
days without, like, your coffee. That's when that becomes a problem. But honestly, it's like, if that's the only thing that makes you happy, that's fine, you know? You could be doing meth. You
True.
could be doing something much worse.
Yeah, and I think about it too is if, like, if you're doing it because you enjoy it, good. If you're doing it just to do it and you don't really enjoy it anymore and it's just kind of a habit that you're like, "Oh, drove back to the same place, got the same bad coffee," like, then maybe switch it up a little bit, just a little bit.
So,
Um, yeah,
similar is the next one. Cook every meal at home. This is my mom.
that's your mom.
Yes. My mom says S tier, perfect advice. Honestly, I think I'm a little bit bad with this because I take this as A tier at home every day. Eat the same thing every day and get no joy out of the food and be fine.
I would say, yeah, this is either, like, A or B tier. I'll probably lean more towards A. Do you remember those exams where it was like all, some, or sometimes, and you had to, like, guess with, like, oh, never, sometimes, or what was the other one? You know what I'm talking about? You'd have
Oh
to
yeah,
take this
yeah.
exam, and they're like, sometimes, and you just select, and you're like, well, I have no idea. This is what it feels like. Every meal at home. I would say try to cook as much as you can at home. I'll change it a little bit. I'll give that A tier. Everything's so expensive now, so you're not only saving money. If you enjoy cooking, it's wonderful. If you don't, it could be a little tricky, so I can understand it there. But you're gonna be able to eat what you want when you want at home, save a lot of money, and every once in a while, like, it's nice to go out and maybe get something that you don't normally make. And yes, it takes a lot to plan all the groceries and all the meal prepping or whatever you meals for the week or whatever you're doing. But I feel like there's different ways to get around it. So if grocery shopping is your least favorite thing to do, then have your groceries delivered. If you just can't cook every single night, but you don't want to eat out, do like a HelloFresh or something. Like, I feel like there's different things. And I feel like you'd get so tired of eating out every night.
And like I really believe in the phrase perfect is the enemy of good. It's like it's okay. Like you don't have to like be making everything from scratch. Like take tea. Like still better
Yeah.
and cheaper than
Like,
eating
go
out.
buy the
Yeah.
already chopped up vegetables,
And like
already cut up fruit. It's going to cost a little bit
honestly,
more, but at least you don't have to do anything.
even stuff like pre-made frozen meals, it's like
Hmm.
that's still honestly cheaper than eating out.
You're still heating it up at home, so I count that as cooking at home.
So honestly, I think that's pretty A tier advice.
Yeah. Alright, this one's not related to food anymore. Have a 5-year plan. I don't know how many times I've heard people, or even like in school, you're like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? I think it's good to have ideas of where you want to be in the future, but I can't imagine somebody's written down a 5-year plan and hit every single checkbox on it.
Honestly, like I agree. Never really like having concrete plans because honestly, like especially after I turned 18, there was just so many like life pivots where like things I thought I wanted, like going to law school and being involved in politics, were not things I wanted at all. And I think that in life, it's a lot more important to just continue to think about who you are and want to be
Mhm.
and changes. You need to be the person.
Yeah. So I would say this is probably like D tier. Also, like, I feel like 5 years is too far out. I could
Mhm.
probably see, like, I feel like 1 year is good, and have 1 year of ideas of things you wanna do. And it's also important, I feel like, to write it down, so then you can, like, look back on the year and be like, "Oh, yeah, I did that and that and that." But it can be on just a napkin that you don't throw away, or or on your notes app or something. Like, I feel like have a 5-year plan. I feel like that's very concrete. This one should be like a dry erase board. You have it up
Mhm.
there and you decide, don't want to do that anymore, erase it. Or I've done it, working towards it, that sort of thing. So I would say C tier.
And there's like
Or
healthy
did I
ways
say
to
D tier? I can't remember it.
we'll do C minus.
C
C.
minus tier, okay.
But, like, again, like, there's healthy ways to plan ahead, like having retirement savings plans
Yeah.
and, like, planning to go to school, but it's just that you don't have to have everything go according.
And unfortunately, if you think everything's gonna go according to plan, it will not, no matter how hard you try. Okay, network constantly. I feel like I did hear this a lot going out of high school, like graduating high school, like make sure you're networking, blah, blah, blah. I would say, again, the definitive terms of constantly in every and all. I'd probably give this a C tier. It's definitely important to network because you can know a lot of people through different connections, or I know this person who knows that person who has a job opening at this company. I think it's good to expand your network. It's great to talk to different people who have different ideas, come from different backgrounds than you. But I personally hate, like, I don't know if you have a LinkedIn where somebody posts every single day or they post so much stuff. And sometimes I feel like LinkedIn is just a competition of, look at this reward I got, look at this certification I got, look at this, look at that. And I'm not that type of person to be like, look at me, I have 50 gold stars and I make $1 million and I have the best life. But I think it's important to connect with the people you work with and keep like talking to people, and then you never know what connection somebody else might have. So I would say C. Don't be obnoxious with it.
I agree with that because I'd say it's solidly C tier. I think, like, better advice would be to build community and relationships everywhere you go,
Yeah.
but especially, like, I think, like, when I went to U of I, like, it was a bit of an elitist college, and not everyone's like this, but I think that, like, when you go about it as networking all the time, it puts, like, career above people sometimes. So I think that, like, it is good to always try to, like, meet new people, make new friends, but, like,
Mhm.
it doesn't need to be about work all the time because I think that sometimes people are more important than your.
All right, we're gonna dive into our last three rankings, starting with, I can't even find it. Okay, romanticize your life. S tier, top tier, down, chef's kiss. And
I
you
need
may
to be
be
better about that.
you may be looking at us, listening to us, you know, all the things, and you're like, what are you talking about? And if you need inspiration, go to a Pinterest board. Just search this on Instagram. It'll come up. Basically, it's taking the small things you do in life, perhaps things that you do every single day. Sometimes it might be something that you do every once in a while, and just paying super attention to it and enjoying it. So, romanticizing your life, I think of this as like you just make your bed and you have brand new clean sheets on it. You go to the store and you pick out a new perfume that smells amazing. You love coffee, so you enjoy making your cup of coffee every day at home, and you go sit by the window and sip your latte. I mean, I think it's kind of almost like a self-care kind of thing, but it could just be like the little things, like if you want to paint your house a crazy color and it'll make you happy, go do that. I don't know. Can you think of any other examples that kind of come to mind? Those were kind of the ones that I thought of. Going for a walk and just
Mhm.
not listening to music or anything and just like looking at nature and taking in nature.
I think that is good because I've been really bad about it. I feel like my mom is the type where she is very straight to it,
Mhm.
and she definitely likes, I don't know if it's, well, she enjoys nice
Mm.
stuff. Not exactly, but it's more so just like life is about stuff.
Mm.
So I feel like that is something I definitely could be better to enjoy the moments and
Yeah,
find more
smell the
whimsy.
roses, as people say.
So that's something I could do better. I would say A tier for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of just taking a step and slowing things down in your life, because I feel like so many times our life just gets so busy, so hectic, and you do the same things over and over again. You're like, so something to kind of break that up and bring joy into your life. That brings us to our second to last one.
Drink more water. So I'm very passionate about
Ooh.
this one. This is S tier, God tier, top tier. This is the best one. Honestly, I was one of those girls who was always chronically dehydrated. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. And I remember, like, in high school, I realized I had gone, like, 3 days without drinking any water. I'd only had, like, coffee for, like, 3 straight days.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and,
Oh
like
gosh.
I know this sounds gross, but, like, it's like I could smell the coffee sweating from my pores. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have ever had that happen, but, like, when you drink so much coffee that you can literally smell it.
I think you drank a little too much, but
But
you learned, so that's okay.
honestly, time to overshare, but yeah, like, I ended up getting sick once and having to get an IV because I was dehydrated, and, like, I got lucky because like, IVs aren't that bad, but, like, there are a lot worse things you could have happen to you, like, you could have kidney failure, you could have kidney stones. There's a lot of health problems that come from being dehydrated, so I say S tier.
I would agree with you. Obviously, it's important. You honestly, like, feel better once you have a certain amount of water in you. Like, I know for days when I've been bad about my water intake, I'm like, "Oh, I should have drank more water throughout the day." And I think this is one way you can romanticize your life. Make it fun water. It doesn't have to just be plain water. Go get your emotional support water bottle, the one that you bought and somebody told you that you couldn't afford a house with the specific water bottle. That is a deep cut from one of our other episodes, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go back and find it in our one episode. Add some flavoring to it. Add lemon, a flavor packet, electrolytes. I think it's just important for your health overall, but then don't force yourself to drink 128 ounces of water that's just plain. Like, no. So I would say, yeah, A tier, S tier, up there. All right. And then finally, our last one, follow your passion, which I feel like this isn't something that is said a lot when you graduate high school, going through college, graduate college. It's not exactly what you hear.
Especially because you usually don't hear people saying, "I wanna become a tax," but honestly, it is so much easier to succeed when you have some sort of passion than if you
Mhm.
have
And I think of it this way is like even if your full-time job isn't your passion, but you work hard, you do well in it, but you do say you love to paint and unfortunately you're not a painter for your full-time job. You can have a full-time job, but then you do your passion on the side and I feel like that fills your cup just as much. And I think it's important to have a passion of something. And unfortunately some of our passions you don't get paid much to do them, but I think that just makes them that much more special. I love doing this so much, I'm not even getting paid to do it. So it's important to have different passions so that that can kind of bring light in certain areas of your life. Because sometimes it's really hard to hold a job when you aren't passionate for it, or to even find a job in your passion specifically. But I think it's important to have passions and use them in your life. So I'd probably say B tier. Sometimes you can't only do your passion, so it's part of it, I would say.
and sometimes it is nice having a job outside of your passion because coffee was one of mine until I worked at Starbucks, and it ruined it.
Oh no.
I still love coffee, but it's just like you hear that all the time from people, especially who go into like sports professionally or into like video game development, is that once their hobby becomes a job, it becomes
Yeah.
less fun because it's work.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. So it's kind of nice having that passion on the side. And so you can still love doing it, you know?
Mhm.
All right. Well, that wraps up our ranking of adulting quotes and tricks and tips that we've all heard a bajillion times before with our lovely ranking system, which now brings us into our expertly unqualified rant and expertly unqualified advice. I have two rants this week and no advice. I'm hoping you have some advice or a
I
rant.
have
We could
no
just rant the
rants,
whole
but
week.
I have advice. So perfect,
Perfect.
perfect.
Perfect. Okay. You remember a few weeks ago on the podcast when I mentioned why do people still have their Christmas lights up because it's Valentine's Day and what are you doing? I got one better for you. My cousin and I were driving to the store together, going down this road. Somebody still had their Halloween decorations up.
That's nuts. That's just
Halloween!
nuts.
I'm like, do you know it's 2026? We made it into the new year. It is February and you have stuff from October. What are you doing? That's what I want to know. What are you doing? But my main rant this week is about Netflix specifically. Okay, I watched Love is Blind season 10. It's the most trash trash series, but I watch it every time because my college roommates and I watch it. We recap, you know. When you were younger, you could see that a new episode of, say, Hannah Montana, for example, would come out, I don't know, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Every Tuesday night, you'd have to watch it. If you missed it on that Tuesday and you didn't have a DVR to record it, you maybe could catch it the next Tuesday right before the new one, you know? You know how that would go. Then we got to streaming services, and then it'd be like, whole season, here you go. Season 1 of Love is Blind, or whatever show you're watching. Now, they're doing weird stuff. Weird stuff. So I feel like if you're a streaming service, you can do one of these 3 options. Either drop the whole season at once, or do it like old episodes where you drop 1 episode every single week for the whole season. Bridgerton does this. You drop half the season first, half the season at a second date. I hate the third option, but at least it gives you something. Love is Blind. I don't know what they were doing. They dropped the first 4 or 5 episodes. There's 12 episodes in a season. They dropped either the first 4, 5, or 6 episodes. Then you had to wait a week. And I thought they would just drop the other half of the season. No, I was wrong. Then they dropped episodes 7 through 11.
Makes no sense.
And now I have to wait until next week to see the last episode where they see if people got married.
That makes no sense.
I'm like, who does that? Here's your 3 options, people. Your 3 options. Drop it all at once. Do once a week, every week on the same day, same time it gets dropped. Or do halvesies. We can't do this. We're going to give you 2/3 and then a quarter, and then we'll give you the last episode in 4 weeks. Knock it off. What is with that? What is with that?
That makes literally no sense.
Because I was like, oh, we gotta go to the next episode. And then I'll be like, on March 4th, you can see this episode. I'm like, are you serious? You left the last episode? I could see, like, if it was the reunion episode or, no, this was still part of the season. Who does that?
And honestly, with that, I really wish they would bring back, like, when TV shows have, like, 30 episodes in a season. Because now we get, like, 6 to 8.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I kind of miss the old TV. Is that bad? And also, I
No,
feel
bring
very
back old
old
TV.
because Hannah Montana's turning 20 this year.
That's crazy.
So I feel like very old. And I also did see some people were saying, like, is it more millennials show or Gen Z's show? And you're a
Ooh, that's
millennial and
hard.
I'm Gen Z, so let's see. What do you think?
I think it's on the edge because I think it's on the edge.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, because
Because older millennials are how old?
like
35?
middle age. The older ones?
Yeah, like what's the cutoff for millennials? Because I'm curious. Because I feel like it's not all millennials. I feel like it's just like a. Because the cutoff is 98?
So it says Gen Z between 1997 and 2012, and millennials are between 1981 and 1996, between the ages of 30 and 45. Yeah, so the oldest millennials are middle age.
I don't think they were watching Hannah Montana. I feel like
No.
it's the middle people. 95 to 2005. Boom. Well, no, I guess it would have to be a little bit older because if you were 2005, it came out in 2006, you'd be 1 year old, you wouldn't be watching it. So I guess I would be right at the end. So we'll say 90 to 2002. Perhaps.
The Hannah Montana golden years.
Yeah, I guess. God, that was such a good show. I miss it.
So with that, I have some advice.
Okay, let's
Be
hear it.
confident. Just be confident. Like, honestly, I think that you hear that advice a lot, but I feel like, honestly, things are a lot more successful for people who are confident. My, like, actual internal confidence goes up and down so much. And sometimes I do suffer from a lot of insecurity, but I try to just, like, outwardly look confident. And I feel like
love that advice.
it does help me be more successful, even if I don't feel it.
Because you know what? No one is going to know if you're not feeling it. But if you kind of exude it and you believe in yourself, even I feel like just faking confidence, you kind of like train your brain to just be confident. And no one's looking at you and being like, no one cares about you that much where they're like, oh my gosh, you're only doing this or that or whatnot. And I think it's so important. You are the only you, so you just got to be you. There you go. And be confident in it.
So that's my advice for the week.
That is the perfect advice of this week. And if you made it this far, please, please, please like, comment, subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram at Expertly Unqualified. We want to hear from you. What other things do you want us to rank? What other episodes do you want us to have? Do you want to see more of our content that we could definitely create with our adulting things? Do you want to see how we adult? That might be an adventure in and of itself. But please click that like and subscribe button because you'll get notified every time a new episode drops and you don't want to miss it. And we won't be like Netflix where we'll drop one episode and then, no, we're doing it every Sunday. Just like how the good TV episodes were. Every Sunday you can find us. And we'll catch you next week.
All right. Bye. Thanks again.
Bye.
All right. That's a wrap on our episode of Expertly Unqualified. If you stuck around this long, you're either extremely loyal, extremely bored, or extremely caffeinated. Either way, we love that for you. Make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review if you laughed, related, or were personally attacked by something we said. Find new episodes and more on our website, thepodmates.com.
And don't forget, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Expertly Unqualified. Send us your stories, questions, or weird hot takes. You might just hear them on a future episode.
We are, as always,
Expertly Unqualified. Conversation's so fun, you'll forget we have no idea what we're doing. Do you want to say it, the Podmates?
Was it Podmates Production?